So we're back at RHS Rosemoor today doing part two of the sweet pepper trials. And we have just been eating our way around the polytunnel that they've got here of sweet peppers, which has been a very interesting experience. Also fun because some of the peppers that they're growing here do really resemble some of the varieties that we're growing at the farm, but none of them have heat. In fact, there was a very heated debate about one particular variety, which resembles a certain long skinny chili, um, about whether people might get confused, which was interesting. Me and Amrit were both of a very strong opinion that actually we think that's a selling point of a heatless chili, of a sweet pepper, that it looks like a hot chili, because people who don't like hot chili still like to have that look of hot chilies in their garden or in the kitchen. So behind me, you can see the growing setup that they've got here at Rosemoor for the trials, fruit and vegetable trials. So they've got a polytunnel very similar to our crop tunnels, although it's a little bit smaller. I would say this is probably a 10-metre tunnel, which is smaller than even the smallest of ours. They're also growing in pots here, which is deliberately to try and replicate how most home growers are growing their peppers and just vegetables generally, rather than planting directly into the ground like we do in our crop tunnels. Interestingly, they also haven't been feeding their pepper plants in this trial, partly to just keep it an even playing field across all the varieties, which is really important to try and maintain. But you actually can tell that by looking at some of the varieties in the trial now. Some of them are starting to look tired and a bit anemic at this point in the season.
So we were just in the polytunnel doing the pepper trial review. Waited to this time of year because everything's nice and ripe, so we can actually judge it based on taste as well. So all of that was really exciting. Probably more exciting for me was understanding what dripper irrigation system they're using, because all the new varieties we brought into the chili farm that we're sort of evaluating right now on our benches, it's taking a lot of effort to keep those plants watered. So I got some advice from the RHS guys about what irrigation system they're using, size of hose, size of dripper, that sort of thing. So apart from being useful to sort of give an input into their pepper trials, we gain something out of it by learning how they do the trials and a bit about their irrigation. So yeah, it's a win-win.
So here we can see some of the varieties that we've been looking at today. Now, I'm not supposed to show you specifics, but you can see the rows, all sorts of colours going on, shapes and sizes. There's the remains of a taste test sitting down there. We have eaten our way around this tunnel. I don't think me and Emma have ever eaten so much sweet pepper in one sitting before. But also the variation in flavours was really interesting when you ate different ones side by side. So there's 3 of each variety. Gives them a chance. You know, if one is suffering particularly, then others hopefully come true. But consistency is part of the judging criteria. You can also see some of them are looking a bit tired and yellowy. Nice orange ones there. There was quite a lot of excitement about purple varieties. I can't say much more than that. But there were 50 varieties all in all. We didn't taste test every one. We did a short list and then went taste tested the favourites. There's a mixture of compact. You can see quite a few compact varieties over here and larger ones. So a real nice range of chilies submitted to the trial.
We want to lobby the RHS to try and do a super hot or a hot chili trial, because they've done trials in the past for hot peppers, but it's mostly been around it's a sort of jalapeno, cayenne, ring of fire heat level, less than 100,000 Scoville heat units. And we think it's unfortunate that the super hot chilies are being left out only because potentially that there's not enough people in the RHS scene to be able to administrate that sort of hot pepper trial. So we're going to lobby them to try and do it because we can be involved. There's lots of other people around the country who grow super hot chilies to sort of have a proper super hot trial. I don't think anything like that has ever been done. Lots of people, millions of people around the world grow hot peppers. We sell lots of chili seeds, hot pepper seeds, and I think getting the RHS on board to run a pepper trial for super hot chilies and hot chilies will just bring more legitimacy to the horticultural aspect of growing super hot peppers. Because I guarantee you, you go to Wisley or you go to anywhere in Rosemoor, they've never grown a Carolina Reaper. Whilst that was the hottest in the world for many years, and now you've got Pepper X, but they've never grown hot peppers. And there's millions of horticulturists and gardeners growing these hot peppers. So surely the RHS should be taking a role in sort of bringing some formality to these pepper trials and including chilies.